Alright, we are recording, and because it's actually getting kind of warm, hopefully the mic isn't picking up much fan noise, but that is around. Anyway, it's Far Cry 3. So continuing that, I'm probably going to be continuing to clear out the map, because it strengthens me in the game. This week has been a little bit light on news for me, anyway. Here's one thing that, the 4070 release seems, important, but it just doesn't stand out for me. I'm sorry. But the first thing I want to talk about, have on the list, is something that honestly kind of surprised me, but it's like, well, I guess it's not too surprising they were in that business, but why are they leaving? Intel has decided to leave the pre-built server market. Which, yes, Intel was making and selling pre-built servers. Serve the Home first reported on this. Initially, they were thinking it was a rumor. But they, thought I heard something. But they actually reached out. Yeah, they straight up say in the thing that they wrote. Then we reached out to them, to Intel, not expecting to hear anything back, and they not only wrote back, they confirmed. But as they point out, it does make some sense. And I really like how they put it, which is why in the Friday write-up, I quoted what Serve the Home shared. That Intel's interest, Intel's business, is in making silicon, not sheet metal. That, they're not, giving up on the, I don't know. That's something I need. But I got it. Yeah, so it's not like we're gonna lose Xeon or anything like that. No. It's that. But just the actual like server racks. Well, the rack mount servers that you could have bought before and put into your own racks. Those Intel's getting out. And it makes some sense. Exactly how that quote from Serve the Home put it. I mean, that's where they want to be making their money, is with the silicon that you're putting in there. And just, whoever wants to put it in there can. But, I don't really know what more to say on that. So yeah, the 4070, which I've not really been looking that closely. I've had other things to focus on. But it is also, this is not an exciting generation, I think, is what a lot of people would agree to. But yeah, so apparently it is what I've been seeing, but some of it might also just be NVIDIA's line that people are repeating. But though it may still be accurate, I haven't looked too closely, is that it's apparently roughly in line with the 3080, but it's cheaper. And it's like, that's nice, but it's also, I put in my note as I was writing up before doing it, I can still remember a time when it was the 60 series that replaced the 80 before. Nope. I don't think that it takes this, that this takes multiple arrows. I think it is just, it doesn't work. That the arrow won't go in, that I need to shoot with the gun. But yeah, the 1060 was at the level of performance of the 980. Now, I don't recall if the 960 was at the level of the 780. But it still was. It used to be that you did see the mid-range being what had been the high range the generation before. So, yeah, but it is still, at least NVIDIA has said this time, because the 30 series, as I recall, was, they didn't price to performance was horizontal. There. Alright. This.
Holy fuck!
Oh wow, they actually did spot me one. Come.
Fuck! Where'd you go? You're just looking.
Just,
Nothing here. Fuck! Shit! Holy fucking shit! I'm going for the alarm!
no, you're not. Damn it.
We'll be there in half a minute. We're heading up from the south.
The south? Oh, okay, it is that way. I guess. I was thinking that was. Okay, I see one guy.
We are coming in from the east.
Now this is a problem for me. Oop. And I'm bumping all the wrong buttons. Come on, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Shut up. What? No, that shot was absolutely.
It's a present. Fuck me. Reloading. I'm coming for you.
Damn it. Oh. And I put out the fire. Which I did not start. There we go. That one guy was pinning me down so. Alright. So a natural question then with the whole 4070 coming out, and did occur to me, I just didn't give it necessarily too much thought, was why is it that like we don't have anything from AMD? I can't even think of rumors concerning the it's more mid-range. So the 7800 XT, the 7700 XT and lower. Which does seem odd that AMD doesn't seem to be competing there, but it's actually just with the latest generation, with the 7000 series, because I have seen people point out that, yeah, they've reduced the pricing of the 6000 series. So, like, you can get the 6950 XT for, I think it was actually seeing like $650. That was the $1,000 part when it released. But it's now that much less expensive. And apparently that was like an actual price cut. And what occurred to me from that is AMD might have, and this is pure speculation, that does kind of fit what they've been doing. They might have adopted a strategy that long term should actually benefit consumers. If I am correct, and if they keep to it. If I'm wrong, then obviously no, and if they don't keep to it, then again, it wouldn't actually help. So, unlike NVIDIA, when AMD announced the 7900 XTX, it's a $1,000 part, which is also where the 6900 XT was, and then the 6950 XT. So AMD may have decided, this is what I'm hoping is the case, this is what my theory, my speculation, that maybe AMD has decided, okay, we're going to keep a maximum price for the GPU product stack of $1,000. Okay? And then everything below that, so everything below that either has to, to fit in, prices need to come down, or performance needs to go up in order to slot in. Which means then, because it's also like, the whole, the 6000 series is taking the space of the mid-range for the time being. It's like, that's fine. Because it's not like they perform less just because a new GPU is out. So it's really, all about striking that price-performance balance. Well, if you have set yourself a cap that is, the top of the stack, and you maintain that, then it forces everything to have to come down in price below it, or price to performance or the relative performance to increase, or price to performance to go up. Which, as I said, long term could actually prove beneficial to consumers, because it means that they actually have to improve price to performance. Damn it. Versus NVIDIA, that, what did they go from, like $1,200 to $1,400 for the top of the stack? That's not so good. So NVIDIA's clearly willing to just push the top of the stack up, which means that they have room for things that previously would have been mid-range cards to be more expensive. So, yeah, it could end up being good in the long term. Because as I said, it applies a downward pressure on pricing. But it wouldn't be a pressure to limit performance, kind of thing. So but it's only if I'm right, but also if AMD were to keep to. AMD would decide with the 8000 series that, nah, we're going to go to 1200. It's like, well, now the 7900 XT replacement could be $900 or $1,000, as opposed to being maybe $800. Or that the 7900 XT, if it were to be slotted into the future product stack, would be able to stay at $1,000. It's like, it wouldn't do that. You need to keep that stability there. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what ends up happening, but it does depend on that. I think I still had meat for you. Could be wrong.
Disgusting.
But, I think, yeah, that's shark. Yeah, bear with special. Blood Komodo. Blood kimono. That would be very different. Yeah. So it looks like I don't need any more deer. So you. Alright, we are recording again. Yeah, my computer just hard locked, not entirely sure why. So, just as an in case. Ooh. Yeah, I lost. Just as an in case, I'm now playing it windowed, in case it was the game that crashed and took down the system, versus the whole system crashed, which is possible. It's been a long time. Okay. It's been a long time since that's happened. If it was just a hard lock like I've seen other times. If that's the case, then it was unhappy with the video processing that's currently happening. A la OBS. But it's weird because that's weird because when that was happening more frequently, OBS, like live recording, it almost never crashed then. It almost never had the hard locks then. It was only when processing it later. Thanks, guys. I need these.
Who's the mayor? Me! Disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know why it crashed. It is also, I did have to reboot the system not long ago for the Windows update. So it is possible that it is something related to that. That's something that the Windows update did cause the. That's not. Or so in. Yeah, so we'll see. But it is also I did decide to attribute a while ago the crashing with the processing, because I'll run the same scripts with the same version of FFmpeg on the test system without any issue, to just the age of the Windows install on my desktop. I find it amusing, people that I do feel like it's to the point of superstition. That's not. Some people, how they will be like, oh, you always have to, you know, like reinstall Windows every so often. You always have to use DDU whenever updating drivers. It's like, you really don't. I don't think that you've ever actually, like, tried not and finding that, oh, yeah, it's a waste of effort. Because, I mean, on the test system, I don't bother. I go between AMD and NVIDIA drivers, and it doesn't care. It's fine. I will do factory reset installs typically, although that option has to be disabled in AMD. But I haven't updated since they had to do that. But I mean, it's like, this isn't really that big a deal. And is it possible that these crashes are because of the age of the Windows install on my desktop? Yeah. I said that. But it's also the only thing that might... Well, it is a concept that I have, but it's like, I don't know if that's true. And if it is, it's the only thing. Like, nothing else. I don't have any other problems that I could think of that could be related to that. So... Yeah, I mean... But no, and it's also, I was just seeing something. Was it today or was it last night? People talking about how, oh yeah, you gotta do DDU on all this stuff. It's like, no, you don't. And if you're doing that, you are wasting your time. And you shouldn't be recommending it. I mean, it's like, okay, if somebody has a significant problem with a driver update, doing that so you know that everything's cleared out, that's fine. That makes sense. This is bad.
We'll be there in half a minute.
Oh, crap. Didn't realize he had gotten that.
We are coming in from the west.
I don't... Crap. I don't remember what it is to throw a freaking grenade. Actually, wait. No. Let me... There it is. It's middle mouse button. Come on. Throw it. I don't do that enough for me to have any memory of what it is. And it's also, why is it middle mouse button? That is a weird one. That really is weird. This. But it's also, I don't know why that guy sniper shots to the head when doing it. I feel like there was at least one game where at least it would knock off the helmet, and then it would, then he'd have a clear headshot. I don't know why this one is. Yeah, there's also the matter of the whole, oh, you gotta reinstall Windows all the time. It's like, what do you use your system for that you're not screwing yourself over by always resetting your configuration? It's like, I got a lot of stuff where it's like, no, that would take me like a full day probably to put it all back. So it really makes no sense to me why you would waste your time when it's like, because it's like you feel like doing it. I don't get it. There we go. So I can hit him in the back of him. That. Alright. That I wasn't sure if it would work. But I at least figured it would be worth a chance. Take.
I better take a look.
Damn it. What? Oh, no. That's right, yeah.
We'll be there in half a minute. Hey! We We are coming in.
That's the way that shooting the alarms is balanced.
I'm hit. You're mine, shithead.
And does actually make sense. I do have to approve of that, but I did forget that is how. Come on. Come on. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. What the hell are you doing? Aside from being a target. Okay, he is shooting through walls. That guy is not.
Start searching. I'm moving. We are coming in from the east.
Ah. Holy crap, why do they keep coming?
Shit!
I wasn't actually sure that would work, but then they were shooting through walls, so why can't I? Alright. That went terribly. Alright, so, let's go back to what I was talking about when the previous thing stopped. Which is my theory, and I only came up with it, by the way, my speculative theory for what AMD might be doing with the product stack, as I was writing up the notes for stuff to talk about. Just to give an idea of how little attention I've necessarily paid it. Or rather, thought I've given to it. But it seems reasonable to me as a business decision, too. That you would, that you would basically try to maintain a consistent product stack as far as pricing goes and slot things in then based on performance. Because price is easy to manipulate. Performance isn't. And there's also the whole that there's no such thing as a bad product, only bad price kind of thing. So, Do. Oh.
You got the bullets. Nothing to be afraid.
Good work. But there's still more to do here.
But it's still, as I was stressing, I don't know if that is the case. But it's something that it would take time to fully realize all the benefits of doing that.
This is all me.
And one thing that also did occur to me is you do actually already see that with the mobile CPUs, at least from AMD. I think also Intel does that, where they reuse older architectures that would be cheaper, lower performance, but they would be cheaper
It was beautiful once.
to produce and cheaper to sell. And so you would just need to set whatever the maximum price is at the top of the stack and then work your way down from there, based on performance and your ability to manufacture. But one trick there is consumers don't see those prices. It's like that's something that the equipment, the device manufacturer, people manufacturing the laptop, they're the ones that actually see what those prices are. So that does impact things some. Because I mean, you could potentially have two laptops with the same CPU but priced radically different. Because it's other things that you're paying for. Since now I'm a little scared.
Who's the man? Me?
Yeah, that one, and then I'll head north. But at least one thing with the strategy that does, and it's part of the reason why I thought of it with regards to AMD, and I just had a weird thought cross my. Okay. Normally, when my computer reboots, the microphone is off. It's like, it shouldn't have any problem that it was on the whole time. But it was also weird, because like the LEDs on my macro pad I use for controlling recording and not, was still on. Even though I had to press and hold the power button, so I hard shut down the computer. I didn't think that port that it's connected to would still be providing power. Yeah. I mean, I guess it can, I just was not expecting that. One advantage, this is what I was trying to say, with such a product stack design, product stack philosophy, is how it allows you to continue utilizing the older products. Which I know I'm kind of repeating myself with that, but the whole beam had the 6000 series in there. That's very advantageous, because that's something that they know they can produce, and they know they can produce well, because they would have been getting better and better at it over the years. Technically not years, but ever since it first came out, they've been able to improve yields. That's just the nature of it, because you get more experience, you realize that, oh, this doesn't work, but this does. It's like the whole stepping stuff with architecture design. It's like steppings are not necessarily improving performance, though they may have that ultimate result. It's about making the manufacturing more efficient. Oh, okay. I was thinking, did I just jump past it? No, I was. We're finally at the top. Or at least very near. Yeah, we're at the ladder. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. I did also write some stuff out that, with my theory, is important. Because, yes, if you do start choosing to include older... Well, you treat the product stack as though you are including the older hardware in the stack, and you're just adjusting pricing so it fit. Technically, that does go against the latest and greatest feature kind of stuff. It was like, yeah, if you're buying the older hardware, then you're not getting the... you know what, I don't want to go in against so blind. Oh, alright. Oh, I got 3 points? Save now. So yeah, I mean, it's... You don't always have the latest and greatest features on there. But at the same time, you shouldn't really be focused on it. I mean, you should be getting what works, because it's like always the latest tech is not necessarily the best. Well, and it's... Well, no, I shouldn't put it that way. It's not necessarily... So I did say in the previous part, the whole... You don't...
Bye. Kakite.
Let me... Pretty sure I am happy with what I've got. Yeah, I'll wait until I've got more of this stuff unlocked. For that, and I'm happy with this one.
What would you like to buy? Kakite.
I was like, NVIDIA wants you to always spend your money on the next generation, and like constantly upgrading. So does AMD. But it's like NVIDIA's the one where it's like, oh yeah, DLSS, and that's only on these select GPUs, only on the RTX GPU. And then it's, you know, frame generation, which is only on the... And it's, you know... And it's also with frame generation. The hallucinated frames, it's like, oh yeah, double the performance with this feature. And it's like, were you making it up? Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, that was the whole frame generation stuff. And I hope AMD is careful with their FSR 3 marketing.
You can do this. Who's waiting?
Okay. Because you're just always touting that, oh yeah, we can double the performance. Yeah, it's because you're making it up, not because you're actually faster. I mean, I get how for some stuff it can be good, but it's still it's not a solution to the problem. It's a workaround. The solution would be better performance, the solution would be better optimization, which actually does remind me, I saw something, The Last of Us on PC, that port got apparently some optimization fixes, which included bringing down the amount of VRAM it needed, which was such a thing. There was so much drama. People talking about how, oh yeah, see, 8 gig cards are dead. If you have that, you need to upgrade. It's utterly worthless if you don't. It's like, yeah, because they didn't optimize the game well. I'm just like, what was it that I saw, the graphs? And it was like a full gig of VRAM usage reduced across all the settings by optimization. It was a software problem, not a hardware problem. And I also saw somewhere somebody saying that developers hate having, like, they want to be able to just fill up the VRAM. They hate having to go through the process of optimizing so that they don't use a whole bunch of VRAM. And it's like, that's a them problem. It's like, I get it. They want to be lazy because they want to be able to do other stuff. Okay, that doesn't mean that it's right for them to do that. For them to decide not to. I mean, it's like, you do your job. It is part of it there. And it's also funny, people being like, oh, well, because, the game, even if you're running at 1080, it's still loading up the 4K stuff. It's like, no, it's not. That's what LOD stuff is. That's what the bitmap stuff is. It doesn't need to load in the full resolution. Like that, the whole pyramidal parametric concept is partly that. It's also partly so that you have, the low resolution isn't just being generated on the fly, but can be crafted, so like you avoid aliasing within it, things like that. But it's, even without that, it still is the whole, just don't load in the high resolution texture. You can be part of the install, which also sucks. What was it? There was some game I saw where it's like, yeah, this is going to be a 55 gig install. It's like, there's no reason it actually needs to be that big. You could partition this stuff out better. So it's not... Ooh, well, like this. But yeah, what The Last of Us update showed was that it isn't a VRAM, additional VRAM is needed. It's that, no, developers need to be doing a better job with their work. That's not to say that we aren't going to approach a time when 8 gig isn't needed. I'm just saying that time isn't now. But you need to put the effort in. And you also need to apply what tools already exist. Because there are very advanced streaming technologies, such that only even the part of the texture, you don't load in the whole texture, you load in a part of it, is what streams in. It's like, that's very powerful. Use it. It's down there. Perfect. Nice. Dang long. But really, right now, I am happy with just the fact that I now do have one of the more powerful assault rifles. That's more of a so I know where they are. I don't have. I'm gonna try to be more careful with this. By the way, with this assault. Now I'm just trying to think. I mean, there is an element of, because some people make the point that since the consoles have a total of 16 gig of memory, though some of that is reserved for the operating system. That's gonna set a minimum of, yeah, I will take that zip line. It's dangerous, but we'll do it. Ooh. That sounds good. Sounds like they have a caged animal that I...
Fucking rebels. Let them keep this shithole.
And I lost my train of thought because I'm focused. That's right, with the consoles. And it's like, yeah, they do, consoles do kind of set, it's like, you have to fit it in there. So, I think the person was saying that it's, oh, there. That it's a 12 gig that's accessible as VRAM on the PlayStation 5. That should mean then that games would be designed to fit within 12 gig of VRAM. But it's still it's like they get it that, and going back to how I was calling them lazy, that's because, you know, they go that far and then they stop, even though they could get more out of it. And it does also just remind me how I've seen Path of Exile, that was like technically an 8 gig install. Like the full size of it was 8 gig. A lot of it was held in a single file though, but I found that if you compressed that, you could have it down to 1 gig. I mean, it was nuts. Absolutely nuts how that was. And it made me wonder, it's like, why is it all in one file? What would it be if they had instead separated it into multiple files? That actually worked. I'm not sure, I might actually need this skin. And then, of course, there's the fact that there's plenty of games where, no, I'm just like, obviously this is an older game, so it wouldn't be a good example to you. But, there's also, like various indie games. That's but various indie games that are gonna not need that much VRAM. It's really just gonna be those few high-profile games. I feel like I should be able. I can't. Neat. The reason I felt that I should be able to was just because it went all the way to the ground. I know, this is so different.
I'm gonna kill you. What was that sound?
No, that is a lion or tiger or something. Okay, I am definitely hitting that. It's just deciding I'm not. Definitely hit him that time. Wow, he is tough.
Got me, all right? You want to keep playing hide and seek?
There we go.
I'm gonna kill you with my bare hands. Where the fuck did he go? Get a grip.
All right, that's a bear. So yeah, it is also just the whole, I'm not really too concerned about this being the future of games either, because it's like, there's gonna be plenty that will need it.
They will not be taking this outpost back. Look out!
I still need the skin.
You've trained
Thing.
for this.
The outpost is ours, but if you want to truly help the Rakyat, you should check out the bulletin board.
We will clean this place of pirates.
I'm just trying to
Citra
think.
promised.
What all else? I think I will be stopping after this out. I want to try.
Go.
Okay, no, that did. I feel like maybe it's just not this one, obviously, but maybe it is a later one of the Far Cry series where if you hold the button, you don't use the syringe. You do the
Pirates.
the slower injury recovery. That's
Clean this place of pirates.
alright. Only hit. Well, actually, no. Suppressor doesn't make sense. I've got the two other weapons that provide that too. That's it's like when I'm pulling this out, it's because shit's hit the fan kind of thing, so yeah, I think that's better than the
We will clean this place of
than the other one.
Citra promised.
That the well, the optical sight is what's on the sniper. That's for long range. That's why it's also increasing. But the red dot, I'm just concerned that this will actually. No, I mean we can. I got them. I don't. But I think that it will block my view. Oh, no. Yeah, then I guess that's fine. So I would next head there. But, well. Yeah, I've definitely been going long enough, because this is at about 40 minutes. The first one was about half an hour. Sorry, the first one was about 15 minutes. So I'll concat them together. Yeah, really no idea why my computer crashed. Could have just been one of those random things that happens. Or it could be that, no, that the Windows update did something. Alright, sure you'll be, sorry, glad for my blathering to stop. But, yeah, I will just say, I do wonder what we're going to see AMD announcing concerning their mid-range GPUs with the 4070 coming. Well, now out. Because if it's longer before they have those come out, then I do think that would lend credence to my thinking that they might be intentionally just reducing pricing on the older gen to slot in there. And it's only as, like, manufacturing capacity opens up so they can shift over to the mid-range 7000 series. Or they think that they can continue to get... I mean, at this point, the actual GPU is likely designed. So it would be like process efficiency in terms of yields, but also in terms of getting the most performance. Though I do remember there was a rumor that supposedly the Navi 31 die that's in the 7900 series it has some sort of flaw in there that RDNA 3 is supposed to be able to clock much higher, but supposedly the 32 and 33 RDNA 3 designs, Navi 32 and 33, would have that solved. So maybe they are still working on that, or maybe they have worked on it, but want to see how far they can push it, and just take advantage of the stock and capacity to manufacture the 6000 series to fill in and give them time to try to improve it as much as possible. Don't know. Do not know. But it will be interesting to see what ultimately happens. It's in some ways it's a bad time because of it's a bad time for GPUs because of how pricing got so out of control. But at the same time, it's good because there is such competition. And this may sound weird, but yes, the pricing went up, but that also means then that there can be another downward push to lower prices, a pressure to lower the prices to, be more competitive. So we might be at a good time on the curve as far as that goes, but competition is happening right now, so that is certainly good. Oh, one last thing though that did end my mind. Did it seem a long time that even the 4070 came out compared to the 4080 and 90? I don't count the 4070 Ti because that was that original 12 gig 4080 thing. So it's like that was part of the original launch. So I do kind of wonder, has it actually been a long time? I don't pay close enough attention to when things release to know the gap, but it does. Hang on. Okay, that's better. But it has seemed to me like it actually has been a gap, quite a gap from the 4080 coming out in the 4070. And yeah, I mean that's not necessarily a bad thing, because as the whole point of what I was saying, the previous generation works fine, and you don't need the lace and grace. It takes a long time for the lace and grace to become necessary. I mean, crying out loud, look at how ray tracing has been. That we've had NVIDIA pushing for that and paying for it in a lot of places since the 2000 series, and yet it's still not a majority of titles. Plenty of games, it doesn't absolutely destroy performance because it's more conservative in its application and looks good. Then plenty of games, yes, that also it can be very impactful. Part, I believe, because they don't push the rasterization methods as far as they could. But it's like they could do. But it's in those games where it's like, oh yeah, it's everything. It's all cranked up to the max or beyond that. It's like, yeah, you need a $1,500 GPU to get 1440p to beat 30 FPS. That's not mainstream. I don't think people care about that. So it's like, you may have lace and grace. You're not going to be taking advantage of it or really enjoying it. So enjoy the older cards. I'm still rocking a RX 580 in the desktop. Works fine. So, and I just like physically shrugged. If I had a webcam, you'd see that, because I mean, it's like, this works fine. It'll play the latest games. Does it play it at max? No. Does it play them all at high? Actually, some it does. But it's like, I can actually look. Hang on. Let me pull it up. It'd be this. Yeah. Okay. I got the RX 580 in 2018. It released in 2017. This is in fact, it is going to turn 6 years old. The RX 580 came out April 18th, 2017. So days away, it will turn 6 years old. And it is still viable. At least for me, it is still viable for me. It works fine. That's kind of absurd. Just how effective that has been, and also how, do you need to upgrade to the latest and greatest every generation? No, you clearly don't. And also because I have a table of my GPU collection, but it's also like the 1070, 1080, which are more powerful than the 580, are from 2016. So that's even older now. And it's like that's a year older than the 580. But those are actually still going to be viable too, because those are 1440p class. Legitimately at the time, 580 was more punching to 1440p. It couldn't do it, but it was really a 1080p card. So it's like, I mean, they want us to buy new cards, but if we don't need to, we don't have to. And when we do need to, we can buy the previous generation, and we're not going to miss too. That is the reality. We're not going to miss. Alright, I've certainly talked for long enough. My apologies for subjecting you to my voice. Alright. Next week is a little weird, because I have something that's going to remove basically my Friday morning. Normally I get all this stuff taken care of on Friday morning. So I'll either be recording this on Thursday of next week, like Thursday evening, or late Friday, as opposed to early Friday. Yeah, we'll just have to see how that goes. And also the Friday news write-up might be late. Well, will be late on Friday, because I won't be able to put it out in the morning. It'll have to be at least in the afternoon, maybe evening. We'll just have to see how that goes. All right. See you next time.